Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, and it's that time of the week when we get our betting edge from Steve Merrill from Pro Sports Info. Steve, it's good to see you. Let's dive right into this weekend's action, of course, compromised by a number of cancellations. But here we go. USC and UCLA playing, of course, for Los Angeles and playing in USC's case for a trip to the Pac-12 championship game. And this game, not that it really matters where it's played, but it's a home game for the Bruins at the Rose Bowl with the Trojans as a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, it's always kind of a neutral field. I guess they maybe have more of a crowd edge at times. That will not be a factor here at all. So it's a true neutral field. So no home field advantage for either team. And the odds makers did open USC as a 3.5-point favorite. It quickly dropped to 3 earlier this week, and now it's sitting at 2.5 in most locations. So the money has come in on the Bruins. And that, of course, is crossed what's the most key number in all of sports betting, the key number of 3 in football. More likely margin than any other margin in football, of course. About 8 to 9% of the time, favorites win by exactly a field goal. And it's interesting, Mark, because my power ratings on this game make USC about a 3.5-point favorite, which is exactly where the line opened. So now at 2.5, you'd say, well, there's some value with USC, but not so fast because I have some concerns back in the Trojans here, and I understand why the money's come in on UCLA. First of all, tremendous rushing advantage for the Bruins. They run for almost 228 rushing yards, over 5 yards per carry. Over 50% of their total yards this year have been on the ground. Exact opposite for USC. They throw for about 75% of their yards. They average over only 112 rushing yards a game. You know, for a team that's 4-0, going for the title game here, and it's still a little bit of a sleeper for the playoffs in a lot of people's opinion, not mine, but I don't like a team that only runs for 100 and some yards. And I think that's why we've seen money coming on UCLA. I agree with that move. At 3 or more, I would lean towards the Bruins. But now that it's down to 2.5, it looks like all that value is gone, at least as of now.
Miami's been able to make its way through the ACC schedule with only one loss, of course, to Clemson on the road in blowout fashion. But otherwise, the Canes getting better week by week, coming off a 48-0 demolition of Duke, taking on a North Carolina team that scores a ton of points on the road at Miami as a 3-point underdog.
Yeah, and there is a little bit of value here with Miami. My power ratings make this game 6. So the current number, as you said, is -3. Once again, the most key number in all of sports. So as long as it stays 3 or less, the value is definitely with Miami in this game by about a full field goal. And then not only is it a 3-point difference, but it's a lot of different key margins there, 3, 4, 6. So once again, I make Miami a 6-point favorite. I do think this line is too short. I'd also lean towards the over once again. It's currently around 67.5, as high as 68 in a lot of spots. As you said, Mark, UNC, a high-scoring team, 41 points a game, mediocre at best on defense, actually slightly below average based on my ratings. Meanwhile, Miami, 35 points a game, 6 yards of play. Both teams can put up plenty of points. The difference, though, is that Miami can somewhat play defense, and that's why I like them here at -3 or less.
Got a game that doesn't mean a whole lot in regards to a conference championship standing, surprisingly, because it's Wisconsin-Iowa, but it's only one of 2 ranked matchups on the day. Maybe the 2 best teams in the Big Ten West, but Northwestern has snuck through with a Western Division championship. So you got Wisconsin on the road as a 1.5-point favorite coming off an 8-point loss to Indiana.
Yeah, really interesting line move in this game on both the side and total, actually. First of all, on the side, Iowa opened as a 3-point favorite in this game. My power ratings make the game 3. Once again, that key number, that's the theme of the segment here, all these key numbers at 3. But guess what? Wisconsin was my 3-point favorite, not Iowa. And the early money agreed with that, and they moved Wisconsin all the way to -1.5 now. So once again, that was just a bad opening number. I think the odds makers, I don't know what they're looking at. I mean, obviously, Wisconsin off back-to-back losses in which they've scored only 7 and 6 points. Definitely looks like maybe they've tossed the towel in the season. Meanwhile, Iowa is 5-2 straight up and at home. So I guess that was the logic behind making them a 3-point favorite. But if you look at the overall season still, Wisconsin's the better team, and that's why my power ratings made them a 3-point favorite. The line has moved in their direction. Not so fast that I'm going to get in front of Wisconsin, though. I mean, once again, I don't know if they're going to show up for this game. Overall in the season, if this was a full season of work and they're playing hard, I would like them in the straight-up win situation. But I just don't know what to make of this team. They had the long layoff. They had the 2 wins and then the 2 losses. They also were told if they don't play 6 games, they're not going to be eligible for the Big Ten championship. Right after that news came out, this is a team that scored 94 points in 2 wins. They go 0-2, as I mentioned, which is 7 and 6 points scored. Buyer beware with Wisconsin. There was a line move because it was a bad number, but I'm not sure you can trust Wisconsin here. And by the way, with the total, it's dropped nearly 3 points, and I think that's a weather move here. Looks like there could be some snow flurries in the forecast. Nearly 60 degrees on Thursday in Iowa City. It's going to be the low 30s when this game is played on Saturday. And that's one of the reasons we've seen this total drop nearly 3 points from 44 down to 41.5.
Check out the banner, folks. It's Steve Merrill from ProSportsInfo.com. That's your site for all your betting needs and wagering advice right there. Not just college football, but the NFL. And, of course, college basketball is underway. ProSportsInfo.com. Steve joins us every week right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, to provide selections on the 3 big games of the week. Join us on Patreon, where Steve gives us his pick of the week. And you can catch us on Patreon. Just search Mark Rogers TV.